Last day. That was a good nap. Shit, I napped because I worked during the night. But overall, that was a good nap. Hell, you know who it is. It's We-On-Loc Nation. We-On-Loc Nation. Shoot, I should change that name to Wally. That sounds like Willy Wonka or some shit. But anyway. All right. Not to waste y'all time because I ain't going to be in too long. Let's see what this chump is up to. You know, when I say chump, I mean Trump. Let's see what Trump is up to. Then I'm going to hit up a couple of other things, including this rat bastard black conservative who, if I ever see him in real life, I might just go to jail behind the comment that he made about the little girl that hung herself. The black girl that did not hang herself, but someone had hung her, and he had stated that she had hung herself. If I ever see that boy in real life, he probably too small for me, because my hand's been wrapped around that boy's neck so tight. Like, it's ridiculous. But let's see what's up with old Stump.
Let's go get him. Well, thank you very much. We have a big ruling that we're just issuing now. It's I think it's very important. It's going to lower the price of your car. It's going to lower the price of fixing your car. Has to do with affordability, has to do with a lot of things. You know, oil prices are way down. We hit $69 today. It was higher than that prior to the denuclearization of Iran fight that we have, which we're doing very well. There'll be a meeting on that tomorrow in Doha. And they're going to Qatar. I think they've already left, or they're just about getting ready to leave. So that guys, but we're doing very well on that front. But the meeting in Doha is going to be perhaps important, perhaps not. We're going to find out. But we're winning militarily. It's almost won militarily, I would say. And it's really very simple. It's the denuclearization of Iran. We don't want them to have a nuclear weapon, and they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that, in all fairness. This is something that's very exciting to me. And if you bring the bill, and I'm going to let Lee explain exactly what it means, but it means a lot to people that own vehicles, cars in particular, but cars and anything else. It's going to save them a lot of money, and they're going to be able to do it themselves. Please.
Mr. President, this is a presidential memo to the Environmental Protection Agency, a presidential memo supporting the freedom to fix. Americans have the freedom to fix their vehicle. President Trump insists upon it. We are not going to be going after people who are fixing their own vehicle like past administrations have. Additionally, we've been concerned, President Trump has been concerned about aftermarket parts, cheap knockoff aftermarket parts coming into the United States, harming small businesses, harming Americans. This presidential memo puts an end to it. Also, the only third-party certification for these aftermarket parts is CARB in California, a process that's backlogged and faulty. So we're going to break that monopoly, and no longer will CARB be the only third-party certifier for these aftermarket parts. Again, President Trump is insisting on fixing it. This presidential memo does that. President Trump was calling me up on a Saturday night when this idea first came to his head, and he says he wants to do a press conference right away to get this over the top. In February 2nd, we signed a right to repair for our farmers so that they can repair their tractors and their non-road equipment, and this is covering everyone else.
I mean, think about it. It came to my attention because I noticed they were arresting people for fixing their car. They were arresting people for fixing it. That's not even believable. Anyway, so it's right to fix, and I think it's really common sense. If somebody wants to fix, some of these people are better mechanics than the mechanics in the shop.
What does all this have to do with the economy? I don't get it.
They're telling the mechanic in the shop how to fix their car or their truck. We signed the truck one a little while ago. So I'm going to sign this and I'll be happy about it. We rule by common sense to a large extent.
He's just signing shit that don't make no sense.
All right, Lee, good job. Thank you. That's it.
Don't make
Okay.
no sense.
Can you imagine that? They want to put you in jail if you fix your car. Thank you, man. You have any questions?
Mr. President,
Stupidest
what
shit ever.
do you make of the Supreme Court ruling today in regards to the mail-in ballots, and what comes next for the SAVE Act after today's ruling?
Well, because of the mail-in ballot ruling, which was a little bit surprising, gives people more time to vote illegally, let's say. But the SAVE Act is even more important, and that's the right. You have to be a citizen of our country. Okay, you have to show you're a citizen of our country, called citizenship. Voter ID by photo voter ID, and no mail-in ballots unless you're in the military, disabled, you're ill, or you're away, or even on a vacation. We're being very open about it. It's pretty easy. And we'll have honest elections. But the ruling, which a lot of people were waiting for, that was a ruling that was, I think it was very detrimental to honest elections. But it is what it is. Basically, they're keeping it a little bit the way it is now. They may have a little bit of a restriction on based on the wording.
About filing a parliamentary.
And then you have the very important one, the Slaughter case, which we'll talk about if you ask that question. But the parliamentarian, what were you asking about?
Yeah, have you talked with Thune about?
I have. No, I can't imagine why you'd keep a woman that was put there by Harry Reid and Barack Hussein Obama. I cannot understand it. The leader has the right to fire the person at will and put somebody else there. That could be, because we get so many negative rulings from her, the parliamentarian. She's been there for years, and she was put there by Harry Reid and Barack Hussein Obama. Harry Reid was a bad guy,
Oh, Lord.
and he was the leader, and he put her. And the speaker has the right to immediately fire her and put somebody else there. And it's not even believable that she's still there. She's obviously a good politician or something.
Mr. President, a question on the Slaughter case. The Supreme Court just affirmed your right to fire the heads of independent agencies. Should we expect more firings as a result of this ruling?
I don't think so. It gives me the right, and not me, it gives a president the right to do what the president should have the right to do. And it's very interesting. It's a big ruling. It's been going on for almost 100 years.
I don't believe you.
Working on this, and that it comes down at my term is a very great honor.
Don't believe
But
you.
it bestows additional
Don't believe
powers,
the
or maybe the
hype.
same power on the president. The president has the right to do this, and that has to do with a lot of agencies all throughout the system. So it's considered, the biggest of the group, and I can understand that this has been going on for almost 100 years. They've been waiting for this decision. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. You were posting about how important it is to get the Save America Act passed. Who do you see as the biggest hurdle to getting this across the finish line?
Well, it's held up in the Senate, and frankly, if you terminated the filibuster, you just need 50 votes, and we have 53, and then you have JD. So the Democrats are going to terminate the filibuster, but if you did reconciliation, you could do it with 50 votes. I mean, the best would be to terminate the filibuster, but for some reason, but you have the same basic people. But even Rand Paul is in favor of the Save America Act, if you can believe it. Think of it. Rand Paul is strongly in favor. He's fighting for it. So that's good news.
What
You
does
would
that
have,
mean?
Lisa McCaskey, always against things like this. Nobody knows
Consent.
why. I think I know.
So this is when it comes to children, right? Are you talking about? Hopefully, you're not. Tell me you're not talking about children. The consent to what? Speak to a 13-year-old? If you're what? If you're what age? You know what? I don't even want to find out. And you coming up in here with that speaks ignorance. It just speaks ignorance. So you need to be removed.
But you have Lisa Murkowski, you have Susan Collins, you have Tillis as a guest, and he's not in office because of me, so he holds me, because I wouldn't endorse it. I think you have Senator Cassidy against it too.
I think he supports it this
And I
time.
think you have Mitch McConnell against it too. Mitch McConnell,
Are there any?
who's very disloyal to John Thune. John Thune was a very good person for him. I mean, he was a very loyal person, and Mitch McConnell's against him almost all the time because he's angry, I guess, probably at me.
Mr. President?
Yeah,
What about Democrats, Mr. President? Are there any, you think you could change their
well, the
minds?
Democrats should do it too. I mean, you probably get one Democrat who's, a common sense Democrat, who that is. And everybody should vote for this. This is the Save America Act. Voter ID with photo, ideally, but voter ID, proof of citizenship, ballots, which is, to my way of thinking, maybe the most important of all because it's so corrupt. But you have exceptions if you're away, exceptions for the military, they're deployed, exception.
But you did a mail-in ballot. So how fair is that?
Illness, disability, you have exceptions, strong exceptions. But the cheating on the ballots, the mail-in ballot, Jimmy Carter said it a long time ago. He said you can't have mail-in ballots. He headed up a committee with Scoop Jackson and others, all respected. And he actually, I think it was Jimmy Carter's finest moment, not doing president, but he headed up a committee and he said, he came out with a strong conclusion that if you do mail-in ballots, there's going to be cheating. France gave it up. We're the only country in the world that does this type of mail-in ballot. There's no other country in the world. You know why? They tried it and it was totally dishonest. And it's really dishonest. So
Well, we all know
should
he's
do
a
mail-in
criminal.
ballots. So it's not too much to ask for voter ID, proof of citizenship.
Well, we all know he's a criminal. We all know he's a rapist too. So,
And no mail-in ballots, and you have honest
but this is what the
elections.
American people
What are your
wanted.
plans for the housing bill, Mr. President? Are you?
I don't know. I think it's so
I tell
unimportant
you.
by compared to the Save
Hello.
America Act. I think the Save America Act is exactly what it says. It's saving America from crooked elections, and the housing bill is a bill that can get approved.
No, it just means that you have a temper tantrum, and each time you feel like you're losing elections, you're paying or they're paying somebody to keep you in the game. That's all that means. This system is corrupt. The justice system is corrupt. The voting is corrupt. Elections are corrupt.
They worked on it long and hard. It's very bipartisan. That means the Democrats like it. I think it's maybe even it's probably maybe more that way they're getting things that I wouldn't necessarily agree to. Nobody knows more than housing in the history of the presidency. Nobody did well like me in housing. I made a lot of money. I made a lot of money with housing. But when I look at that bill,
You lost a lot too.
it's a bill. But when I look at the Save America Act, it's about saving America. And I'd like to have the Save America Act added on. That's probably not going to happen because we have 4 Republican senators, maybe 5, that just won't vote for it. It's crazy. Somebody like Lisa Murkowski from Alaska. Nobody's done more for Alaska.
He's
than
calling
me.
out his own team. He's calling out his own
What can I tell you?
administration.
But those 4 or 5 people that I mentioned should vote. How do you vote against Save America? How do you vote against it? How do you vote against voter identification or proof of citizenship?
We don't care nothing about Sleepy Joe
that
up
would
in
vote
here.
against that are people that are going to cheat.
We don't care nothing about old Sleepy Joe.
Need it because their policy is so bad. They want open borders. They want high taxes. They want terrible medical, anything medical. I'm the one that did favored nations. I'm reducing drug prices by 200, 300, 400%. Nobody even talks about it. The news doesn't talk about it. The Democrats are opposed to it. If they get into office, they'll put it back. Your drug prices are going to go up by 200, 300, 400, 500%. You know that.
But will you sign that housing bill?
I have not. It hasn't been sent to me yet. It's coming. I understand, and then I'll make it. Here's what I would like to say. Much more than a bill. That big deal. It's a yawn. Because it's wonderful. To me, compared to the Save America Act, just about everything is a big yawn.
Now, you typing that is the most dumbest thing a person could say. So if I vote for one, I gotta hate the other. That ain't the case. I could hate both. I didn't vote for Kamala Harris, but I didn't vote for Trump either. Because none of them, including Trump, didn't deserve my vote. So what the fuck are you talking about? You don't have to vote for anyone if you don't want to. You have that right not to.
And Mr. President, citizenship.
Birthright citizenship is next. What are your thoughts? Birthright citizenship, what are your thoughts, and will you accept it if it rules against you?
Well, I guess I have to accept it's the Supreme Court, so I'll accept. I think it's very bad for our nation. We're the only nation that does it. No other nation does that birthright citizenship. No, not even close. Some did it, they ended it. It's tremendously destructive. It's extremely costly. I don't know, it's up to them. But in terms of for the good of the country.
He always has his panties in a bunch.
They didn't allow it. It would be great.
He's whining now, and he's whining now, but I'm gonna tell you in a minute what he's whining about.
The Slaughter case was the big case today. That was really a big case because it gave strength to presidents and strength to the presidency. A very important case. It's been going on for almost 100 years, think of that. And this was the ruling that really topped everything by a lot today. Yeah.
Mr. President, Zohran Mamdani said in an interview this week that he was open to being the poster child for socialist candidates. Are you worried about more socialist candidates across the
Well, I think it's a big threat to our nation, actually. Because it's not socialism, it's really communism. They use the word social democrat because it sounds so nice, but it's really communism you're talking about. I think it's the biggest threat to our nation there is, maybe since our founding. That includes World War I, World War II, September 11th. It includes the Pearl Harbor attack. I think this is the biggest threat to our nation. People will smile when I say that, but the smart people are going to say, you know, he's probably right. It's basically introducing communism into the United States of America. There's never been anything so dangerous. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm gonna show you what this.
Thank you guys.
I'm gonna show you what this nincompoop is mad about. Well, let's just say there's a win, and then there's the other thing. There's a big win, and then there's a kind of a loss, but the second one is basically he's gaining more ability, he's gaining more power. Goddamn Supreme Court. And this is mainly what this knucklehead is talking about, if I can find it. And put this up to the front. Now, what was going on is today at the courthouse, Supreme Court, what was dropped today were two cases. The Watson versus RNC case and the Trump versus Slaughter case. Now, I'm going to let this gentleman here explain both cases and what they mean and what this bozo here is talking about, or what Trump was lily-gagging about.
there. Hopefully you can hear that big applause. That is how important this case is. Really, really big case. All right. The other case, Trump v. Slaughter. Now that case is bad. That case is bad. We'll talk about it in a moment.
Democrats or Republicans, Democrat won by, they won 5-4, but Republicans won 6-3 when it came to the Slaughter case. Slaughter case, or the Watson versus RNC case, the voting case. State may keep counting amnesty ballots that are postmarked by election day, but arrive afterwards. Mississippi, 5 days, 5-day grace period. So you have a 5-day grace period. You can vote through mail-in ballot. The other one, Trump versus Slaughter, presidential power. Okay, why did they give him more power? Presidential may fire FTC. I don't know what FTC means, but I'm sure he's going to explain it. FTC commissioners at will. The court overrules Humphrey's execution, overrules Humphrey's executioner. The 1935 case that shielded independent agencies for 91 years. That was voted 6-3.
The presidential power case. The president may fire FTC commissioners at will. The court overrules an old case, Humphrey's executor, the 1935 case that shielded independent agencies for 91 years. The voting case barely got by 5-4, and this presidential power case 6-3. So the conservative majority, they voted together on that, but several of the conservatives voted with Kagan and Sotomayor and Jackson and gave us this case. All right. So first we look at Watson v. Republican National Convention. So the question in the case: do the federal election day statutes bar a state from counting absentee ballots that are postmarked by election day but received up to 5 days later? And the court held, no. Nothing in federal law requires ballots to be received by election day. Federal law fixes when votes are cast. State law governs when they must arrive. So federal law says that votes must be cast on or before election day, which is the first Tuesday of November. First Tuesday after the first Monday, right? So that the federal law says that. The federal law says that your ballot got to be cast before then.
Cool.
But it does not say that it must be counted by then. It sort of left that up to states. And in the state of Mississippi, so long as someone cast their vote by election day, okay, it was earmarked and cast by election day, then they have in the state of Mississippi up to 5 days to receive that ballot. And the state will count it.
Okay.
Huge decision.
Okay.
Because so many people vote by absentee ballot. So many people vote by mail-in ballot. And yes, the Trump administration wanted SCOTUS so badly to give them this victory. In other words, if it wasn't there by election day, then it wouldn't be counted. And that would have resulted in so many ballots not being counted. Because again, there are a lot of people who vote by mail with absentee ballot, including Trump himself.
Thank you.
So he wanted this very badly. I think he wanted this case more than...
Oh, I hate absentee ballot. I hate voting ballot. It's a rig. It's a slum. But yet you did it. Okay, cool.
The rest of them, quite frankly, are right up there with birthright citizenship in the Slaughter case that I'll talk about in just a moment. So once again, so long as the absentee ballot was cast on or before the election day, it can arrive to a state within that state's grace period. And why is that? Because the federal government, the federal law, the Constitution, basically says it sort of lays out the voting law, including the fact that it says the states can, handle their own elections. All right, the time, place, and manner of their own elections. Okay. Again, federal law says when the ballots must be cast, but it leaves it up to the states to handle time, place, manner. Now, what that essentially does is it respects, and you're getting this from me, meaning I typically would not say this, but it basically respects states' rights. That's basically what it does. We have heard white Southerners argue for states' rights for so long. Conservatives, that's all they talk about, states' rights, states' rights, states' rights, right? States' rights, states' rights, states' rights, 10th Amendment. But here, white conservatives, we're trying to undo or undermine states' rights when it comes to absentee ballots.
Okay, let's get to the other one.
So Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, all right, they absolutely voted against this.
So we got the majority. Ooh, it was close. Very, very close.
So it was a very narrow 5 voters most.
I could care less.
That was of 100. Trump wants, he's a part of that conspiracy that I've been telling you about, executor's case. And that signaled then that that was not going to be a persuasive argument, or they have no concern about Trump being able to fire them.
Oh.
So the question here is, even change the filibuster rule. One time, Trump probably still talks about just eliminating the filibuster rule, but the GOP senators know that eventually Democrats will be back in power, and if you don't have any filibuster rule, then they have no way to stop whatever the Democrats want to do. Huge win, but we got to protect it by contacting the senators, your senator, and by voting November 3rd.
Oh, we'll be voting.
Next, the next case, Trump v. Slaughter. All right, Trump v. Slaughter. So the question here is, may Congress shield FTC commissioners from removal except for cause, or does that protection violate the separation of powers? That's the question. The protection is unconstitutional. The president may remove commissioners who wield executive power at will. Humphrey's executor is overruled. So they got a huge victory here. And it is one that caused Justice Sotomayor to read her dissent from the bench. They've been doing that a lot lately. And it was a blistering dissent, blistering. All right, and she talked about how this holding will cause all kind of chaos. It has given Trump even more power. And we're talking about this being after SCOTUS has already given Trump lots of power, like the absolute immunity case. Okay, he already has a lot of power, but this gives him more. You see, what Congress has tried to do in the past in the courts is protect independent agencies, commissioners, and their leaders, so that a president is not able to sway them one way or another.
Hey, thank you for the 100.
But that they do what is in the best interest of the country, not what is in the best interest, political interest of the president. So they have tried to shield those commissioners from being swayed by that. Let's say like federal judges. Federal judges, they have no concern about Trump being able to fire them.
Which we already know that he had just stated, right? He had just stated. Thank you for the other 100. Thank you for the other 100. Thank you. Thank you, big dog. He just stated now that he's not going to be firing people. Now, do we believe Trump in anything that he says? Do we believe Trump about this war? Do we believe Trump about him going off and pressing the button? Because remember, the war is over. Allegedly, the war is over. The war is supposed to be over. But yet he is still on a temper tantrum. But he's on a temper tantrum when it comes to the Save America Act, because it's held up by the Senate. And this is where I question the House. I question the House with such animosity. I'm like, what are these fools thinking? What are these people thinking? I mean, do they really want America to? Do you want America to strive and thrive? Obviously not, because they're absolutely doing what this fool wants them to do. Now, by this token, at least they took. I have to give him some credit. At least they took away some of his ability when it came to this war. And now they took away the ability for the elections, the midterms that are coming up in November. So go out there and vote.
Right? No concern, because the Constitution says that they serve for life based on good behavior. So long as they serve in good behavior, in other words, living a good life, then you can't fire them. So they're not swayed by, unless they want to be swayed by political pressure. I won't say they're not swayed by political pressure, because obviously they are. Sometimes they do what's best for their particular party. But they can't be forced to do it. Right? Once they get there, they're in that job for life. They don't have to run for re-election. None of that. All right. So
well, it's not just Democrats now. You got Republicans in there who don't want the SAVE Act. So that's why he was calling them out too.
It's really difficult to sway them. We had to look to federal judges during the 60s, 50s, to stand with us in our fight for civil rights and voting rights and so on. And that's why we were able to do it. Okay? So let me give you the opposing side real quickly. The opposing side says that federal agencies are part of the executive branch of our government. So therefore, they should come under the chief executive, which is the president. So he should be able to fire, hire, basically whatever he or she wants to do when elected president. So that's basically their position, that pursuant to a president's Article 2 powers, they should be able to just fire whatever. And SCOTUS has pretty much agreed with that. And so it has enlarged and increased executive power given to Trump.
With that,
so that's sort of the opposing view.
More power.
And by the way, the Lisa Cook case, that case too, let me just throw it in real quickly. Trump accused her of committing mortgage fraud. And based upon that, he tried to remove her. But SCOTUS says she can't be removed, at least until the investigation, the court case is handled. So he couldn't, so they protected her for now. And the reason they did that is because she is a part of the Federal Reserve Bank. And they, once again, are trying to shield monetary and economic policy from the pressure of politicians. So she's good for now. So
So basically, we got a win, and we got a loss. I mean, it's something, but I'm just waiting on November. I'm waiting on November when they finally send this dude packet. Packing with a big package of a big middle finger saying, F you, go home. Now, sticking on politics, I don't know what these people see in Jasmine Crockett, and I'm talking about these haters, these non-important people who I understand. I understand you want Texas to turn blue. I totally understand it. I totally get it. We should be voting blue all the way down. I get that. I understand it. But Jasmine Crockett, if I'm correct, is out of the Senate race. She's out of the Senate race, correct? So what are we still doing talking about Jasmine Crockett when James Tallarico is your number one guy? And he should be reaching out to voters. He should be reaching out for help. He should be reaching out to Jasmine, right? But all because she opens her mouth to stuff, we blame her. We want to blame Jasmine Crockett because she affects whether Texas is going to turn blue or not. She's the one. I digress.
Voting in Texas is important. Supporting voting in Texas is important. And if any person is doing anything that is not supporting the Democratic Party winning in Texas, I have an issue with it, whoever you are. It's pragmatic. We have to be pragmatic. The choices are binary. And I hate even having these conversations where we're talking about, like, you know, how people are behaving or not behaving and statements. It's just like, can we just focus on the things that actually matter?
Wait, I'm confused. What do you, are you referring that to Jasmine Crockett? Do you feel like she's
Yes. I feel like the statements I've seen from her campaign and the statements I've seen from her haven't been a full throated support of Tallarico, saying the main thing is
I love her too. Teddy. I'm surprised to hear you say that.
Why are you surprised? I can read quotes from her.
Well, because one, a few. I mean, I've talked about this ad nauseum, all this week. But a few things. If James Tallarico wanted her support, he should have been reaching out to her in March. There is no precedent for when a Senate candidate loses, or even a governor loses, as far as running for office, that they campaign for that person. James Tallarico's team should have been reaching out to her incessantly since March and building some.
This is not for me. For me, let me be crystal clear. This isn't about James Tallarico. He's not even a part of the conversation.
No.
What the hell?
Let me get this out though. Okay. The onus is not on Jasmine Crockett to get black voters for James Tallarico.
Hell
the
no.
onus is on James Tallarico to get.
Not the point I'm making. It's not the point I'm making.
What are you making?
The point I'm making is this is not about Tallarico. I don't care about him, or I'm not talking about him. What I'm saying is that if Jasmine Crockett is going to say anything about the Texas race, she doesn't have to say anything. She doesn't have to do anything. I want to be crystal clear about that, right? Period. But if you are going to say something, then it should be something supporting of the candidate who is running, and not something that feels.
No. What do you mean?
What you mean that?
Okay. The people out there who act like this guy, right? Do we not remember when she was down at least, I would say, 5 or 6 points, and finally she had conceded because people just wanted to cheat? And let's just be honest, Ken Paxton had any effect, but that's here nor there. So when she lost, she conceded to James Tallarico. Did she not? She conceded to him and said, congratulations, James Tallarico, for winning the Senate race. And said, you should. She was advocating for him since, I forgot what it was. It was February or something like that. But anyway, she was advocating for the dude. But then she went dark months later. Now all of a sudden, it's on her. Again, it's on her to serve James Tallarico, serve the people James Tallarico. She's supposed to automatically do that. As I recall, James Tallarico is in that seat. James Tallarico has to have black people, had to convince black people to vote for him. And again, going to the 95% of black women in the United States of America who have voted for Jasmine Crockett, you're going to have to convince them to vote for you, not the other way around. Now you want to act up. Like, share, and subscribe channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me just stop. Any talking without talking. Technical difficulties. Let's see. And why do people lick their lips like that? I have no idea. I don't know why people. Let's just do another server. Let's just go to another server. No big deal. No big deal. Don't tell me. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let's just do this. Do you think Mello is innocent? He killed a kid. The kid should have put his hands on the kid should have put his hands on Mello, and maybe he would still been here. I don't know why you ask. I don't know why you're asking the same question and expecting a different result. That's crazy. Trump is your daddy. I really think people like you are sick. People used to.
They campaign for that person.
Okay, cool.
James Tallarico's team should have been reaching out to her incessantly since March and building some.
This is not for me. For me, let me be crystal clear. This isn't about James Tallarico. He's not even a part of the.
No. Let me just get this out. Though.
Okay.
The onus is not on Jasmine Crockett to get black
of the candidate who is running, and not something that feels either.
But she did though. What do you mean?
What you mean
in the beginning of March when he won?
I'm talking about the comments that she's made recently.
The comments she made recently. What she said was, "I have no idea if I'm going to campaign for him. They just reached out to me," which is a big F up if you just reached out to her in June.
I agree.
And she won. I'm sorry, James Tallarico won in March. She said, "I have no idea." She said, "But I am focusing on down ballot races." Yeah. But she didn't say she wasn't going to support him. She didn't say that she would never campaign for him. She said, "I have no idea." Jasmine Crockett's not going to be a liar. She's not going to be inauthentic. She said, "I have no idea."
Why don't you, again, you shouldn't have to campaign for whoever she doesn't want to campaign for. I'm not saying that she does have to.
Bro, what is it that you ain't getting, bro? It's just, again, I don't. I think these people. I don't want to call them agents, but I'm still trying to figure out how to put it in words. It's like, what do these people own, bruh? Move on from this. If you want to, you got to vote for James. Vote for James. He's the one that has to convince black people to vote for him, not the other way around. Jasmine is gone. Geesh kapush. It's just, she makes a comment. She's gonna be a citizen soon. She's gonna be gone, finito. In a couple of months. She's out there traveling the world, helping the Democrats make these seats turn blue. If anything, purple. Get this bum out of office. What is it that you're not getting?
I'm saying is that we have to be intellectually honest. Comments like that are not ones that show support in terms of how people read that for a candidate. And there have been many times with Hillary Clinton, we can go down the list of people who lost and win the campaign for the other person.
That's a presidential election. There's no precedent.
Bro, I'm just saying that
a Senate or governor's race of the other person campaigning. I was saying this on social media.
Texas needs to be blue is my point.
Well,
and anything that anybody who has that type of platform.
You act like James Tallarico doesn't have a platform. You act like James Tallarico just came out the blue out of nowhere. Wasn't James Tallarico a debater? Wasn't he on Jubilee? Wasn't he on a couple of shows or whatever? You act like he doesn't have a platform anywhere. What are you talking about?
because if you're going, this is the thing that's nonsensical about it to me. If you're going to campaign, which she said before the primary, for down ballot races, why wouldn't you campaign for the Texas Senate race?
Because he has to reach out to her. It is up to James Tallarico. It is James Tallarico. And maybe you haven't seen the way folks have been vilifying her online and talking about her ego. Jasmine Crockett has been freaking attacked for like over a year at this point, from AIPAC Lives to Stephen A. Smith to Donald Trump. She was a human being. It's on him. It's on.
I'm not saying it's not, bro. I'm not saying that Tallarico doesn't have to campaign. That he has to win.
If you don't reach out to
me, you say like, go vote for him.
No, listen.
Simple.
No, she did say that when she lost. She said this. When she lost, she said this is bigger than me. And I heard Andrew Gillum say this, who ran for governor of Florida, and talked about what you do when you want your opponent to campaign for you, which is rarely really done for a statewide race. James Tallarico should have been reached out to her.
So you want her, and I get it. You want her to rally up all these black women, have them turn around and vote for him. That's their decision. Ultimately, it's his decision to come out and convince them, the people, to come and vote for you. But after those little slick ass comments that James Tallarico's people, not James Tallarico himself, but his people stated about Jasmine, you really think they're actually going to come out and vote for him? After what was stated about her, I mean, she's ghetto, she this and that, and all this other stupid stuff. I mean, he's going to have to do the convincing. Not her. I mean, she's not the one that you're coming after.
Set up something where they could do an ad or a video having Jasmine Crockett talk. What is she going to do if she don't hear from somebody for 3 months?
This is a false choice, right? And I think this is a false choice. Like, she either has to, wait in the wings to hear from him, right? Or she has to get a call from him the day after she loses. For me, again, I want to be crystal clear. My concern is the people of not just Texas, of the United States and people around the world.
These people have lost their freaking minds. We're not robots here. You don't tell people what they need to do. Hell, they already done it. Maybe, just maybe, if you would have voted for her in the first place, this would have never happened. Even though she had already had 1 million votes. Hell, you could have had 1,000 more votes more. She would have been up 2 points, and she was down 5 points. If there were, I forgot what city that was. There were 85% of people in a certain part of Texas who did not vote for Jasmine Crockett. So therefore, that was a loss on y'all part, sir. And now, months later, you want her to rally up. This is not about your feelings. Oh, no. You don't punch me in the face. You don't punch me in the face, turn around and say, oh, you got to suck this up. We got to save the world for the people. That's not how that works.
Because we know that the Senate is very, very important to what the president can or cannot do in terms of legislation, even in terms of like the war and all the other things that are happening. And if we are doing all that we can do, all of us, to move towards harm reduction, the question for me is I mean, there's just no way anybody reads, I don't know if I'm going to campaign for this guy, and feels like that's supportive. Nobody is reading that and feel like that's supportive. And then that becomes, because now we're talking about that as opposed to actually like, what are the chances of winning? Again, I'm not saying that the lady has to campaign for the guy she doesn't want to. That's not what I'm saying at all. But all I'm saying is that even a few weeks ago, when her campaign spokesperson said, you know, that the Democratic Party should focus somewhere else and not in Texas, that shit is not helpful. That came from her campaign spokesperson.
She didn't say that. She didn't
condemn it either. It came. Let's not do that.
She's no longer
her campaign spokesperson, bro.
I'm so surprised at you, Teddy, that you have a higher standard for Jasmine Crockett than James Tallarico, who won. I know Black journalists who've been reaching out to James Tallarico for months, including Urban View. He's not coming on our shows. James Tallarico has to put in the work, put in the groundwork to get Black voters. And part of that is him having reached out to Jasmine Crockett months ago and plan and strategize together. They would have to invest in her campaigning. She's about to be a private citizen in a few months. She did go hard for Colin Allred, who won. She went hard for Christian Menifee, who won. She has been traveling the country doing down ballot races.
Do you think, let me ask you a question in all honesty. Do you think that she wants him to win?
Yes, I do. Okay. Yes, I do. I think she wants him to. I don't think she wants demonic Ken Paxton there, not at all. But again, now here's the other question. Does James Tallarico want her to campaign? Does James Tallarico want to work with her? That's the other question. Sure. And if he does, he should have been reached out to her.
I agree with you.
Back in March. So now we're expecting Jasmine Crockett to, as Reese Colbert says, to be the mule and do the labor of not only having nobody reach out to her to say, hey, do you want to be a part of this? Hey, how can we collaborate? For her to decide.
But you said they did reach out in June. They just reached out recently.
Like a few weeks ago. Yeah. That's unhinged.
I agree.
They've been trying to court.
They should have reached out to her the next week after they won the primary.
Exactly. So what is she? And so if somebody asks her a question, are you going to campaign for him? And she says, I have no idea. I just heard from them.
I mean, I'll just say, this is just for me. So maybe I'm living on an island, me and a couple of my friends who work in politics. Everybody hears that statement in a certain way. And I think the downplaying of that as like not important or not impactful is problematic. Again, all the things that Tallarico is required to do, he should do. And again, I'm not saying Jasmine Crockett needed to do anything, period. What I am saying is that if you're going to release a statement after you lose the primary, that should be, in my opinion, if you are concerned about how these elections impact actual humans, it should be a full-throated, I support this candidate and you should vote for him. Not the Democratic Party should focus their efforts somewhere else, not in Texas, which her campaign spokesperson said, and she didn't condemn it. And I'm going to vote for down ballot. I'm going to work for down ballot people. I'm not sure if I'm campaigning for this guy.
What happened?
I don't know how anybody hears that as not. It's
all that. She said she was working with people with the down ballot crap. I didn't know what a down ballot was until she actually told us. But she's working with other people in other states and other cities. What are we doing? We're thinking too hard. Number one, we're thinking too hard about one person who is irrelevant, way irrelevant at this moment. Now, I'm not saying that part to be mean, but I'm saying that to say that she's no longer on the ballot. She even made a post about it. And people were like, she doesn't want to support Texas. That's a lie. That is a damn lie. Not only does she not reside in her job is not to help people in Texas, but her job is also help the people in Washington, just help people in general. What are we doing?
It's about how I'm feeling. As opposed to I'm going to do what's best for the interest of the people. But that's my 2 cents on it.
This is what she said March 4th. This is what Jasmine Crockett said March 4th after she lost. This morning I called James and congratulated him on becoming the Senate nominee. Texas is primed to turn blue, and we must remain united because this is bigger than any one person. This is about the future of all 30 million Texans getting America back on track. With the primary behind us, Democrats must rally around our nominees and win. I'm committed to doing my part and will continue working to elect Democrats up and down ballot. That's what she said in March. And reportedly, they've had no other conversation since. That is
Again, I think it's terrible that this campaign has reached out. But in June, she said she did not know if she would support him.
No, she didn't say that. No, that Teddy. They asked her if she would campaign. She said, I have no idea. She did not say, I'm not going to support him. Campaigning is a process. It's not as, I mean, that's what his campaign.
I'm going to find the quote, but this says that the Congresswoman told the Dallas Morning News that she had no idea if she would support Tallarico in November.
It was campaign.
Okay. So campaign support campaign, which I get specifically. But why would they say in November?
What do you? Oh, I don't know.
Because campaign, when you say November, that's when you vote. It's not campaigning. So it said that she was asked if she would support Tallarico in November, saying she is focused on the down ballot races. She said she had no idea.
I'm looking here. It says campaign. Jasmine Crockett, according to the Houston Public Media.
They said that she said that she wouldn't vote in November. I don't remember her saying that.
Jasmine Crockett has no idea if she'll campaign for James Tallarico. I'm seeing campaign everywhere.
So again, I hear that. So even if she says she's not going to campaign, she's not sure she's going to campaign. Clearly, she has no responsibility to do so if she doesn't choose to. Do you think that statement is helpful to him winning in November? Let me reframe the question. Do you think it's helpful, harmful, or has no impact?
I think she answered the question honestly. She wasn't going to lie. We don't even know if James Tallarico wants her to campaign.
But maybe that's not the question I'm asking you.
I think it is helpful because she wasn't lying. She's not going to be a liar. He has to reach out to her for the people.
Okay.
Maybe he doesn't want her on his campaign. And
it doesn't matter what he wants.
Well, it doesn't matter what he wants. I'm not going to support him. It does matter because he has to win. He has to win.
He has to win.
The critique of Jasmine is she is not campaigning. That's the critique of her. And now folks have remixed it and revised it. She said, fuck that motherfucker. I ain't doing shit.
Closed mouths do not get fed. If he wants her, he needs to ask. Thank you for that. Hey, finally, common sense.
It's not even any of that. But I want to read the exact quote from the Dallas Morning, from the Dallas News, because since people are remixing it and revising it, and to be fair, I didn't say I would talk about this.
I mean, she just wants her to go nuclear and talk to the people. Is he going to pay her to do that? If that's the case, he might as well just forfeit the campaign and let her have it. Although I wouldn't want her to have the Senate. I wouldn't want her to have the Senate in the first place. I wouldn't want to have the Senate. She needs a bigger role. And you know what that is. And I'm campaigning for that.
With Teddy today, this just came up. Crockett also said, I haven't heard a bunch of kumbaya. People don't seem to be convinced at this point, but there's a lot of time between now and November. Good answer. Asking whether, this is the original source, she would actively campaign for or with Tallarico. Crockett said, I have no idea. I'm more focused on down ballot races. That's what she said. Then she said she received what she described as an afterthought invite on June 8th. That's 3 months later from Tallarico. And she added, it seemed like an afterthought invite. I can't say for sure because I haven't listened to it. This is 1,000 billion% on the candidate who's running.
And by the way, you got white boys talking like, is it even worth? Because you're gonna have white people talk shit about Jasmine Crockett no matter what. I guess I can. How much time? How much time do I got? I guess I can go overtime with it a little bit. You got people who act Democrat but act Republican. I mean, I think if people really, really wanted it, I think people should rally for her to get some of these people who are irrelevant, in my opinion, off of her back. Because again, just like the Carmelo Anthony case, you guys had won. You fucking won. Now it's time to move on to another adventure. Let us handle getting him out of prison, because he doesn't need to be in prison. The boy is freaking innocent. He got freaking set up. Now with this guy, Jasmine's no longer hadn't even been on the haven't been on the trail since. She's not the primary winner here. James Tallarico is. But then you got these knuckleheads coming out of the blue. I don't know what's wrong with you people. I don't know. Maybe it's the Tourette's. Maybe it's some Tourette's or whatever. But let me see if I can look at it. Let me see if I can look for it while I'm on here. I was like, you got too many people opening up their mouths to Jasmine. I don't know why that is. If I say she's black, she's a black woman, this racist. This racist, reverse racism. None of us is black or white. I love all. I don't care if you're black or white or Mexican. Shut up. Just shut up. If I look for it, I was watching Inuyasha today. This thing here. Okay, here we go. Something about have you guys ever heard about the Volsh pit? The Volsh pit or some shit? I'm just gonna go a few minutes on this. Just a few minutes.
Did you guys, now that Juneteenth is past, we can finally go back to this channel's treasured pastime of trashing black women. Did you guys see the shit Jasmine Crockett said? Oh my fucking God, what a stupid bitch. She is refusing to attend the Texas Democrat convention because she's salty that she lost to Tallarico, even though Tallarico has still not said a single goddamn negative thing about her. Crockett has also said she's not sure whether Democrats, particularly black voters, have united fully behind Tallarico. Maybe if you fucking supported him, they would. And the rest of the ticket, she said the lack of a black nominee for major statewide office could damper enthusiasm among some voters. I've not heard a bunch of kumbaya, she said. People don't seem to be convinced at this point, but there's a lot of time between now and November. Asked whether she would actively support Tallarico's campaign, Crockett said, I have no idea. I'm more focused on down-ballot race in general. This is a fucking Democrat Texas Senate seat, you bitch! This shit should be, like, you should be fucking exiled from the Democratic Party. They need to send your ass to the fucking Antarctica. Vote blue no matter who. Insane. Do you have any idea how bad it would make Tallarico look if he refused to support Jasmine Crockett if he had lost? She never had a single fucking talking point other than I'm black and I deserve this seat because I'm black. And we're all surprised that she's acting this way. Well, I knew. Jesus Christ.
Privileged. That's what it is. These people are privileged, and Donald Trump has really convinced these people. Has really put the battery on their backs and said, you are free to express yourselves. And boy, did he ever express himself. calling Jasmine Crockett a black bee? Like, what are we doing? Say it in her face. Oh, but we're not violent. We're not violent on the We-On-Loc Nation channel. We're not violent. But the violence has been gotten by force because the kingdom suffers violence. I don't know white folks picking on a 5'4" petite black woman. I understand it. I totally understand it. But let that be Hillary Clinton. Would you do the same thing to her? Would you do the same thing to her since it's not all about race? Would you do the same thing to Kamala Harris since it's not all about race? Yeah, kill me with
she won't be exiled. She'll be promoted for her devotion to hierarchy. Yeah. She's going to be on Democrat talk shows. She's going to be, over and over again. She's basically dead career-wise at the moment. Masaigu, I know you're always Masaigu. You're always very quick to massage my brain. Now that Juneteenth has passed, we can finally go back to this channel's treasured pastime of trashing black women. Now that Juneteenth...
Hold on. I want you to remember what he said. Remember what he said. He sounds like he has incels. Wait, he sounds like an incel. Yeah, of course. Wait. Check this out, though. I want you to concentrate on how he starts, what he said. Just listen to what he said.
Now that Juneteenth has passed, we can finally go back to this channel's treasured pastime.
Now that Juneteenth has passed, basically, now that Black history is past, now that the celebration of our independence, Black independence, white people say that they're not racist. White people say that if it don't apply, let it fly. White people say that they're not racist, they're not prejudiced, they're not this, and they're not bigots, they're not that, they're not a whole bunch of shit. God reveals all. God reveals the snake in the grass. Because all you got to do is just shake. You're going to just stomp on the ground and it shakes, and the snakes just stand straight up and run off every time they see God. These people would nearly shit their pants if Jasmine Crockett were to take the next step and become the president of the United States of America. They would be calling her Madam President if she would have ran. But let's not focus too much on her. Let's focus on who is in position. We only got 3 more years. Let's talk about who is in position to run, and that's Kamala Harris. A lot of people didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Why? She wasn't ready. I didn't like her politics. I don't like the way how she did this and did that. Let's that doesn't matter the politics. It doesn't matter if it's healthcare, if it's gun control, if it's this or that. Let's not focus on that. Take that out your head. Why not put a female? Doesn't matter who it is. Why don't we focus on putting a female in office one time? You put the first black president in office, and that was a sham. Let's put the first black woman in there. Let's see how she does. Too much for you, huh? What, you scared? What, you scared you might lose your country? We're losing our country. I was born and raised in Lansing, Michigan. I heard that shit all the time when I was at the Capitol. Um, um, not rioting, but I was going up and down the streets of downtown Lansing, protesting that we need to get these skinheads out of our reach and out of our neighborhoods. They were the ones complaining that this country ain't a white country anymore. All I'm saying is just let's just do it one time and see. It's only going to be 4 years. 4 years. Why not? Let's try it. 4 years. Let's do it. 4 years. And if you don't like the 32, go ahead and impeach her. If you don't like what she brings to the table, go ahead and impeach her. This is goofy.
Of trashing.
I think we had enough of the sexist shit for at least 1 decade. I about had enough of the sexist shit.
Black women. Did you guys see the shit Jasmine Crockett said? Oh my fucking God, what a stupid bitch. She is refusing to attend the Texas treasured pastime of trashing black women. You can finally go back to this channel's treasured pastime of trashing black women. You can finally go back to this channel's treasured pastime of trashing black women.
Not just Jasmine Crockett, but this could be said about Michelle Obama. This could be said about Kamala Harris, since y'all consider her to be black, whatever the case may be. Yeah, well, anyway, it's like no one gives a shit about America. No one gives a shit unless it's pure Christian white. Well, wait a minute. Hillary Clinton. Hillary's white? Why don't you vote for her? Oh, I forgot. She's too much of a she's a what you call her? She's for Apex. She's for Israel. She kisses the wall along with her husband while her husband's playing the saxophone. Boy. Crackheads. And speaking of crackheads, the black conservative, I would like to see in person. There was a particular black girl. I think she was from Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, then I apologize. She went from supposedly, allegedly, going from Michigan to Florida to celebrate Juneteenth or whatever. Somehow, some way, she got lynched. And the autopsy, I guess, shows the rules on her neck of some sort. But this fool gonna say that the blackity blacks are in such of an outrage of a woman that, paraphrasing, hung herself. Thank you, Lucas, for covering this.
Oh my goodness. So there was a story that was brought to my attention about this 27-year-old black girl named Miller. And apparently she was found hanging from a tree. And this was due to her traveling from Michigan to Miami for a Juneteenth celebration. That was the narrative. Upon hearing this, your first reaction to anyone who has an IQ above room temperature is, that doesn't sound right, right? You mean a person, black woman, traveling to Miami from Michigan to celebrate Juneteenth, somehow winds up hanging from a tree, something doesn't sound right. Something sounds of foul play. Now, naturally, like I said, that's a normal person's reaction. When it comes to a Sambo soldier, the Sambo soldier, they think, oh, well, of course, black person hanging from a tree, that's normal. Why are black people making such a big deal out of it?
So you got to talk about more pro-black conspiracy evidence, but based on this idea.
Yeah, dude. I think next week I'm gonna go full ham on your ass. And you best to hope I'm in the right headspace. Because the one thing about it, I mean, making jokes about it, that's totally unacceptable to me. But how you choose to go about on your live stream expressing these things is totally fucking dangerous. And I will not tolerate that type of bullshit.
That black people cannot hang themselves, right? It's impossible for black people to commit suicide via hanging.
Like, I've never seen someone hit such a low. I've never seen someone tap dance on the grave of a black person as this marsupial does. So to act like this is some, out of the atmosphere concept is ludicrous. You only do this if you're tap dancing for a white ignorant audience.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
Now, having said that, I've done due diligence into the story, and I've noticed there's a lot of misinformation just going around. For example, when it comes to her, going from Michigan to Florida, Miami for Juneteenth celebration, that's unfounded. Even her sister at the conference says that that's bullcrap.
Cause my sister wasn't down here for no fucking Juneteenth. She been down here since February.
So you get a lot of people saying that. Now, I want you to understand that was the story that this marsupial, this transgender dwarf reported on. Right? She was under the impression that she traveled from Michigan to Juneteenth. Now, even that not being the case, anyone with an IQ above room temperature would go, why would someone travel from Michigan to Juneteenth to simply hang themselves?
Oh, I didn't know she did that, Jeff. Thank you for that information.
In a park, right? How does that make any sense? If someone's suicidal, they wouldn't travel all the way to Miami for a Juneteenth celebration to do that. They wouldn't unalive themselves. That makes no sense. But once again, this simpleton then tries to blame black people. He then goes and says, well, if there was something, it would be about black people. And it's hard to understand him because he has a crazy lisp. But he's talking like, oh, it'd be black people because she was there for Juneteenth.
Let me adjust that. I'm not going to say that there's no foul play for sure. If there was foul play, it certainly was not a white mob that did it or police.
I miss you like a whole Miss Fly.
Because she went to a Juneteenth celebration, it is very likely that she spent her weekend around black people. So if there was foul play involved, then it likely came from somebody who was black, and it was not some racist white lynching, right, against a black woman.
Like a baby. Miss Mammy Titty.
Now, I want you to understand, this transgender dwarf doesn't care about the black woman who lost her life. He doesn't care at all. All he seizes is as a story to try and lambaste and criticize black people. That's all he seizes as. Why? Because he has a low IQ, racist audience.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
As I said before, what he's even reporting on, what many people are reporting on, it's not true. It's inaccurate of the Michigan to Florida. Because I found that a bit weird. It's like that doesn't make any sense, which would lead someone to suspect foul play. Taking that out of the picture, now we see that she was arrested not too long ago, I think in April of this year. So she currently resides in Florida. Because what you have to understand, the case is closed.
The case has been closed, but the sheriff says that she is willing to open it if they get more information.
The officers already said that the case is closed. They deemed it a suicide. So until someone else comes out with information, it's done. It's a wrap. That's what is going on. Now understanding the case is closed, anyone with credible information is going to have to come forward to reopen the case.
We remain committed to reviewing any credible information brought to our attention.
When it comes to the hanging, the officer hasn't said anything about hanging. They just said, hey, they found, a deceased individual, yada, yada, yada. It wasn't until the sister, right, who, ironic enough, the only person race baiting on this is this transgender dwarf, because everyone else is asking questions. Now, I want you to understand, it's illegal for Black people to ask questions when it comes to the Sambo soldier, because once Black people start asking questions, well, answers have to be given. And you know that the ignorants don't like giving answers. So Black people are asking, hey, this doesn't sound right. Who was with her? What happened? Where are the cameras, right? Will you tell me that there's no camera recording of this? Officer said, hey, any camera recording that was given in the investigation.
I know the facility does have cameras. Whether that's a part of the investigation itself, the homicide detectives would be better to answer that question. And that would be in their finalized report as well.
All right, so the moral of the story of this whole thing is from Trump to the corruption of justice, the Supreme Court, the House, Congress, Congresswomen or Congressmen, Mike Johnson. Do I have to say Trump's name? I guess. All the way up to the top, from the bottom to the top. In my opinion, it is all corrupted. In this administration, in this thing they call the United States of America, is all corrupted. And I would like to give a definite shout out to my Haiti brothers and sisters, because I have no beef. I have no beef with I have no beef with nobody that is of my ilk. I mean, I love them as much as they loved us. Been breaking bread for 9 years, living in the same facility for that long. Hey, if I had to do it all over again, I would stay in the same. But rent is too high, so we had to move. We had to do what we had to do. But there was a couple of times when I knocked into my Haitian friends, and I miss them. I totally miss them. I have no issues with Haitians whatsoever. It's a trip that people of my ilk, who are Americans, Black Americans, that is, go and waste precious time hoping and all against hope. You're going to go through all this extremity and telling Haitians to go back to their home country because Donald Trump redeemed it so. But then you're going to put more log on the fire and say, yeah, they don't belong here. They don't belong here. Yada, yada, yada. Go back to your home country and figure it out. I was like, okay, cool. But when the economy goes back to the shitter, well, it's already in the shitter. When the economy goes down and then unemployment goes up, gas price or not gas prices, it's just going to look bad. It's just going to look bad. It's going to be looking even worse with immigrants not being there. But that's here nor there. The problem is with me is the hypocriticism. The hypocriticism part is you're kicking them out, but you're letting white South Africans in. Make that make sense. And this is the reason why you and Marjorie Taylor Greene were butting heads. Because when she found out that you were letting Asians into the country for whatever purpose, I guess it was for AI reasons or whatever, he was like, well, what the hell does it has to do with the economy? People are starving. People are dying in the streets. It's like, this is not the America that I'm used to. And Donald Trump waved his little finger, had a little hissy fit, and it's like, who the hell you think you're talking to, Marjorie Trader Green? Which, keep in mind, I don't have any sympathy for Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't have any sympathy for Marjorie Taylor Greene. She the one that put that shit. She the one that spent several $1 million on Trump, thinking that everything was going to be squeaky clean. Everything was going to be A-okay. And we're going to raise us and we're going to make America wide again under his regime. But when she found out who he really was, when it came to those Epstein files, it's like, oh boy. And we still haven't gotten the Epstein files yet. Not the whole, I want everything. Everything. So it's corrupted. Politicians are corrupt. This economy is fucked. Everything is fucked. Mm. It's very depressing. It's very depressing. It's even more depressing that you got ignorant people. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is the reason why you have balancing energies. You have a negative and a positive. And right now, it's kind of looking on the negative side, and that's when people phase out. That's when people phase out. People, either they don't show up to YouTube anymore, or take a vacation. They do whatever they have to do to replenish, and because this is not going to stop. This is not going to end, because even if Donald Trump somehow gets impeached, how long before we get another idiotic? No, I want to say the word arrogant. Arrogant. How long before we have another arrogant president who follows the same formula as Trump? Because let's just face it. Let's just be honest. Trump wasn't there for the American people. He was there for himself. He has gotten extremely rich, even though when they try to look at his taxes and how much he owes, he was going to owe a lot of money, and he still owes a lot of money through all the lawsuits. So, all the Epstein files and all that, paying Eugene Carroll all of her money. What was it, $65,000 or something? And he hasn't paid that yet. No, she got 75,000. She got 75,000. 75 fucking thousand. Who said Obama was in the Epstein files? Obama ain't no damn Epstein files. Bill Clinton is mentioned in the Epstein files. Bill Clinton is. And I don't know what they did, but I don't know what it is. But the Supreme Court, the 2 out of the 3 just need to go, or the 2 out of the 6 they need to go. That's John Roberts and Clarence Thomas, 2 of the most biggest stars on the Supreme Court. They just need to go. They need to get up out. They need to go. I mean, Jakari Jackson's all by herself. Poor thing. She's all by herself. I mean, if you want to go back, there is no going back, by the way. If you want to have at least a decent America again, I suggest you vote blue. But let me put a little twist on it. Vote for somebody who gives a shit. I'll just say that. If you think Kamala Harris is that girl, then go ahead and vote for it. If you think Mitt Romney or whoever's going to be that candidate for the national running, but need it as it may, start asking questions. Start asking questions and hoping to seek those particular answers that you want to hear. You want to hear that you want to hear that you want to make America great again, but you want to make America great again for all people of nationalities. If that's the case. If that's the case, if that's what you want, if that's what you believe, and I'm trying not to be too sympathetic about this, because in America, we already know what America is about. Since there is no particular justice for Black folks, but needed as it may, if you want a specific type of America for American citizens, if you want prices to be lowered, whether it be groceries, gas, or rent, you're going to have to really buckle down on these people. It's like go strictly on your word. And everybody telling me about policies. Hell, create your own damn policy and present it to the person that you feel that is worthy of the noble office. You write your policies and you hand it to them. You give it to them. It's like, I want lower gas prices. Okay, cool. I want lower groceries. This cheese is too high. This bread is too high. We shouldn't be at the gas pump making life decisions, because we simply have to pay rent. We got to pay rent. We got to pay utilities. We got to pay our car notes. We got to pay a lot of shit. And then on top of that, we're trying to send our kids away on camp or basketball practice or karate practice or whatever. But we gotta shorten the load a little bit due to this fool that wants to take money for themselves. And by the way, did anybody get their Doge check yet? Nah, nobody got that. Nobody got their Doge check. And I almost forgot one more thing. Mike Johnson needs to go too. That coward needs to go. And what do you? While I'm at it, what do you think about Hakeem Jeffries? That that Obama wannabe. Well, what do you think about Hakeem Jeffries? They all gotta go. That's what I think. I said I think Jasmine is the party. In my opinion, Jasmine is the party because she don't take no shit from nobody, not even Trump. But they all want her to be a Pacific type of a person. She can help, start getting rid of people one by one by one, and she can start off. She can be the face and have people just start in and get in people who are young and experienced. Yeah, she loves you too. She definitely loves you too. But hey, it's like I said, this world is corrupt. This world is corrupt. Your even your cities, your local state, your cities, everything is being run by the state. Everything's being run by the state. You got Trump wanted everything to run by the state, including, making state people decide on abortions, which I don't want to get into. I never want to get into that conversation about abortion because that is a real touchy subject. A real touchy subject. I let women go at it when it comes to abortions. I let them go at it. I mean, I got my kids, so I don't mess with all that stuff. It's too much, way too much. And LBGT, as much as I don't like that lifestyle, but we're adults, so adults are going to do what adults are going to do. I don't like that lifestyle, especially when it hits our children. But need it as it may, you a grown ass man. You're a grown ass woman. If you want to, whatever you do in the privacy of your own home, that's your business. If you want to play if you're a dude, if you want to play tinkle toes with another, that's your fucking business. If you're a lady, if you wanted to play wet the garden, that's your business. I really don't care. Let's just focus on getting our kids, our children, the best. See, that's the thing. We don't even talk about the kids much. It's not just about the American people. What about the children? God is really terrible. You're gonna have to answer that. I don't know. I don't know why you would say that. I don't know why you would say that. But I guess I could put it in try to put it in context what you were talking about. God's punishment to women for Eve committing the first sin. Adam committed the first sin, buddy. It's even in the Bible. It stated that he was in charge of the garden. He was in charge. Now, Eve may played a part, but he was the what? Leader of the garden. Needless to say, both of them were responsible. So that's why both of them were kicked out. But needless to say, he was the man. And God got tired of, let me not play around with the with the biblical text because I got my wife in the next room and she can hear it and they say, what you saying about the Bible? Like, I'm just telling the people the truth. Whatever happened to the snake, I wonder. Oh, God banished the snake. God grabbed it and stood it and slapped it on his belly, and that's the reason why you have snakes rolling around on their bellies. And he went after the snake. I was like, who manipulated you? And it's like the snake did. He grabbed that snake and it's like, you will forever be on crawling on your belly. And it slapped him. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. It slapped it on his belly, and that's the reason why you got crawling snakes. There's your answer. We are at war. We're at war. Right now, we are what Trump would call a Christian nationalist America. But there's a little twist to it. Make America great again. What do you think that means in his eyes? And he tried doing this his first term. He lost the war in Iran. That was terrible. He lost the war by giving up all their assets. Giving up all their freaking assets. I keep seeing that. What? I keep seeing that. I think it was Brandon. Brandon had that same hat. I wonder why he has that hat on. They started Georgia. I had to read all that. I don't know why it was. What about 1920? Elaborate. What about it? 400 billion for what? Wait, 400 billion. Yeah. 400 billion, erasing 400 billion and get to the Iranians, and which they already made up in their minds to be after the Obama agreement was all tore up, because he wanted to be in that number. He wanted to do the exact same. He wanted to prove that he was better. That's what all that was. He's wanting to prove that he was better and he can do a better job than Obama. That Obama shouldn't even be in this position. He said this even before Obama even reached office, calling him Barack Hussein, and where's the birth certificate? Where's the birth certificate? He's not from this country. Where's the birth certificate? Wasn't he born on an island somewhere? And then later on went to school in Chicago. I mean, anything that was wrong with Trump, he blames Obama for that. It is what it is, fam. This world is corrupt. Justice is blind. And the only thing we can do is go to work. That's the only thing we can do is just go to work. Whatever. I say this, live your life. Live your life the way you want to live it. Straight up. If this 4th of July coming up, I don't celebrate none of that shit. But if you want to spark some fireworks, go ahead and do that. If you need to take a vacation, plan it. If you need to go see family, see them. All right, the pursuit of happiness. If you want to go to a casino and spend $100, $200, $300, and hopefully you'll win 300 more, cool, fine. But do what's best for your health. Do what's best. It's just, you know how you make America great again? By doing what's best for yourself and your family. That's what you do. All this is too stressful. That's what these people want you to focus on, is all this damn stress. It's too much. It's too much stress going around. But people don't. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I got 19,000 subscribers. I don't even know what that means. But I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I'm blessed. This is a hobby for me. But when I see people, and I try to put my 2 cents in. You know what I'm saying? I try to put my 2 cents in to try to make sense of some things, and none of it makes any sense. None of it. But the only thing I can do is put some of what I know into y'all's brain. And if you want to add it in, cool, fine. If you don't want to listen to me, fine, listen to somebody else, or don't listen at all. It doesn't matter to me. It only matters if you're happy with, for example, with what Obama stated last month or last week, then that was for you. That was for you. Wasn't for nobody else but you. If you listen to your pastor, if you listen to your great grandparents, if you still have them, and they spread wisdom upon you, then that was for you. It's for you. Don't worry about what other people think of you. Jasmine ain't worried about what other people think of her. I wish she might. I wish she would go around stressing what she needs to do for James Tallarico, even though James Tallarico won the primary. Please. And I'm not saying James Tallarico is a bad guy. I'm not saying that at all. As a matter of fact, he's a good guy. But he needs to know that, people need to keep their damn mouth shut. You got good, you have good Christian morals, right? You preach that stuff all the time. You do. You preach that humble pie shit all the time, right? Why don't you tell your base, it's like, chill out. We're all in this together, right? Instead of you stressing her out. Do I stress out when you don't hit the like button? No. But you got other fools telling you to hit the like button. If I'm not gonna read your comments if you want your, what do they say? If you want your comments read, you're gonna have to put up a cash app. I don't do all that. I don't do all that. I ask you if you like the video, hit the like. And so far, y'all done that. You done it. I didn't get a cat. I didn't get a super chat, but I got a whatever this thing is, and I'm grateful. What did I think is a sticker, a star, and then I just found out a couple of days ago about a hike. I don't know what that means, but I like for y'all to press it. I think it keeps you in the algorithm or something like that. I don't know. I do not know. People invest in these things. People invest in a lot of shit. I don't. You know who I invest in? My family. I invest in my family. I invest in my little girl. I invest in my little boy. who are growing fast, by the way. God, I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, God dang, time has flown. Hype will promote your channel. I thought my channel was already being promoted, but I don't know. If that's so, then go ahead and hit it, I guess, and I be up there with the rest of them, I guess. But bottom line, just do you, and just be careful. Just be careful. Have fun. Don't let these things stress you. Don't let these things stress you, especially with all the Chuck DeBiller wannabes. If you see them, run. If you see Jake Lang, run. He's an agent of chaos. Just run. I literally have dealt with goofies for most of my life. My next journey, my birthday is next month. My birthday's next month. I ain't gonna be stressing out over nothing. Hell, I might get drunk my first time. Who knows? I might have to get drunk that my first time out. I am trans African American and want to learn about our heritage and culture. Do you have some advice for me? Read Dr. John Henry Clarke's latest books. From Dr. John Henry Clarke, from Dr. Ben, from Malcolm to Martin, so on and so forth. Freddie Lou Hamer, Dr. Frances Quest Welton. Those are the females in particular. If you want to learn about your heritage straight up, it all depends. If you claim African, or if you're proclaiming something else, then I can't help you. But if you're proclaiming Africa, then I prefer to those books. From Dr. John Henry Clarke, from Dr. Ben, from Dr. Freddie Lou Hamer, to and then, okay, of course, Malcolm X, of course. There is one book. There is one. And you know what? There is a guy. I forgot what his name was. And he is in that community or whatever. Hot diggity damn it. But just start those books. Just start those from there. And then, of course, when you do find what you're looking for, let's just say you want to take a trip to the place, like if you were born in Jamaica, if you were born in Haiti, if you were born in Africa, in that particular part of Africa, whatever country that you may have ancestral ties to, I suggest you take a trip. I suggest you take a trip to one of those areas and then learn your culture from there. As far as the trans part, I can't help you. But your nationality, then that's something that you can definitely go to your local library and you can actually look up. Ethiopian. I'm Ethiopian, and I just ask elders or Google. Ask your elders. Your elders know more. Jesus Christ, know more than Google. No, that Google shit is just AI. All that shit is just fucking AI. That's right. Ask your elders. Your elders know everything. If you don't, I mean, it's different if you don't have your elders. Then ask your next of kin. But elders come first. Elders are your true, or one day will become the ancestors. We'll go straight to your ancestors. Right? And that's what we want to teach. We want to teach our children and our children's children who we are. Race, creed, or color. That's what we want to do. Hey, Auntie, what you doing up? The most important thing for me, and some of the things I need to get back to, is listening to God. And one of the most disturbing things about this president is he doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in sin. How can you not believe in sin? Donald Trump doesn't even believe in sin. He believes in making money. Hand over fist, making money. In his religion, no. Is his religion known? No. No. Because he doesn't say it. He's never said it in the past 40 years. But he made a statue. Going back to Deuteronomy, the people were tired after Moses went up into the mountaintop talking to God. And he came back down full of wisdom, strength, and 2 tablets. And he found that these people were worshiping a calf. These people were impatient. And he threw those tablets down, and the world split. Yeah, he's goofy like that. I remember his first term, he held the Bible upside down. What the hell's wrong with him? I mean, this is the same president. This is the same president who built I think it was close to $2 billion in taxpayers' money on a ring in front of the White House. A MMA ring. Now, is that smart? And then he's going to write an executive order today about people having the ability to fix their cars. What the hell does that have to do with the economy? Again, corruption. But the one victory I can definitely say is that the Supreme Court basically blocked him or slowed him down for Mississippi not to do mail-in ballot. That was the great thing. So you can do mail-in ballot. But the one thing that is sorely unforgivable is that Donald Trump versus, what was it? Donald Trump versus Slaughter. Donald Trump versus Slaughter. He can fire anyone in that, what was it, the FTC. He can fire anyone in the FTC. Why would you give this son of a bitch more power? What are we doing? John Roberts, you got to go. You must be impeached. And yes, he can be impeached. He can be impeached. Clarence Thomas, he can be impeached. He can definitely be impeached. I'm going to need for you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button. This just lets you know I'm coming. He couldn't even recite a Bible verse. He has recited a Bible verse. Get thy money in my hands, you silly woman. And of course, he loves the snake story. He loves him some snake story. He told, and with that snake story, telling on himself, stating that the snake, well, let's just call it for what it is. He was the snake. He said he was the snake as a come and help and manipulate y'all. Come and help me. Come help me. And started wiggling his tongue. Come help me. And you fed them. Those who have voted for him, you fed them. You bathed them. And finally, when he settled down, he started biting motherfuckers. He started clap. It's like, I was dying. I'm dying. Why did you strike me? He said, bitch, you knew who I was before you got me. You knew I was a snake. You knew that. So he's saying, if he was impeached, in other words, if you impeached him the first time, like you impeached Ken Paxton, and this is the reason why I say justice is unjust. It shit don't make no sense. Why would you put an impeached person? Shouldn't even come. But I guess money rules all. Money is the ruler of all evil. You can do good with it. But money is very, very, very corrupt. You can have money and be the most corruptive person on the planet. Elon Musk, I don't know what to say about that South Africa. I don't know what to say about it. He's not even. They make up for each other. They love each other. They love each other. When I say they love each other, I mean millionaires and billionaires. Billionaires love power. The Supreme Court just made a law giving president immunity. It is a law now. I wonder. But that's just giving them more excuse to be more corrupted. But the temper tantrums are going to make his reign even worse. It's going to get even worse. If he can get rid of generals, 4-star generals. If he has been banished in the war room for making corrupt decisions, but yet you're giving him more ability to act stupid, even more corruptive. Does that make any sense to you? Let me ask you an honest question. Has he not once mentioned anything about the economy ever since this war that he started? Ever since he started this war and didn't have the ability to finish, but yet we're close to a deal. We're close to a deal. We stopped the war in Iran. No, you didn't. We did it with the because of Barack Hussein Obama and Harry Reid. What does Harry Reid got to do with all this? Harry Reid was doing his freaking job. Now we're blaming things on here. First is old Sleepy Joe, then Obama, then Harry Reid. If he had a choice, it was like, okay, you have one choice. You had to pick one guy to blame any and everything on this economy. Who would it be? He would have said Obama, 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 Obama. I guess that's why Michelle's the man, right? But let's not go there. Let's not go there. A mad president should not have the ability to command anyone. He's calling everybody sons of bitches and bastards and telling reporters to go F themselves. Like, this is a president. Did Jimmy Carter do this? Let me ask you, did Jimmy Carter do this? Did Tricky D, we all know Tricky Dick now. We all know Mr. Tricky D. And he was the worst president ever. Did JFK do this? It's not just Trump. It's the whole system that produces him and that surrounds him. I believe he's just the fall guy. He is the fall guy. He is the face of the United States. He is not the United States. You know who runs the United States? It's not Trump that runs the United States. It's the Khazars that run the United States. The true Jews, quote unquote, the true Jews that run the United States. It's not Trump. Trump can care the fuck less. He's just there just for show. He's giving out the middle finger. Pretend this is a middle finger. He's giving out the middle finger to everybody, including his own party. His own freaking party. Hell, Barb knows more than me. Lisa knows more than me. So I leave it up to them. Thank you for the flow state. Thank you for the flow state. I don't even know what all that means, but I'm grateful. I am totally grateful. Unlike Trump, who just wants more and more for himself and less for everybody else. We got people who are dying each and every single day. Here in the state of Nevada, do you know here in the state in Las Vegas, Nevada, if a homeless person is caught on the bench, that homeless person can be sent to jail 3 days, 3 nights in a cot. Why can't, with all the money, with that $1.8 billion, we can create a facility for the homeless? I live in Summerlin. Well, then you know. You know, Summerlin is not cheap at all. Summerlin is not cheap. Flamingo, that part of Flamingo uptown is getting quite expensive because they just made some apartments and condos out there. It's not cheap at all. You have to go all the way on the east side of town if you can find an apartment on the east side of town. But anyway, he comes on talking about tax and tips. Tax and tips ain't gonna help nothing with capacity up to 20%. It doesn't help anyone. Even in restaurants, it doesn't help anyone. You take care, Jennifer. Or take care, Gene. Have a good one. Stay safe. All the corruption and all the tax and tips in the world ain't gonna mean nothing if you don't have the people to give great customer service. If you don't have the people, Canada is no longer here. Canada took their businesses and they produced in China and in Russia, I think. Don't quote me on Russia, but definitely China. Because Trump wanted to put tariffs. On Canada. And I know we're not a part of Canada, but god dang it. God dang it. We need those businesses. It's getting a little bit too lonely in Vegas. And I think Miami's Miami because they have the beaches out there. But LA, New York is gentrified. You're getting money from small states like Maine and all them. You're just corrupted. You're just fucking corrupted. It's not tax and test in any way within That's why jobs and wages are up this month. You're letting down the action was weaker for the white people. Well, if you're going to put it that way, you might as well put in the farmers. You might as well put in farmers too. Or add farmers. Because the farmers are going bankrupt, but yet you're telling the farmers that we can help fix your tractors. How about not putting so much tax on my land? Fuck a tractor. I can fix a tractor. What am I leaving out? What am I actually leaving out? I mean, it's a lot of shit to talk about. There's a lot of shit to talk about. So what am I leaving out? Trump saved American farmers in his first term. Which is putting taxes on everything. Trump cut them in the second. But what was he doing this second term? Why are farmers getting so upset at Trump his second term around? I think we make too many. I think we make way too many excuses for Trump. Way too many excuses. What about the black farmers who have lost their positions? What about the black farmers? You can look this. You can look this up. This is not a gotcha. This is not a lie. This is the absolute truth. Trump versus Trump versus the United States. 2024, the Supreme Court ruled that former president had brought immunity for criminal prosecution, that this was a 3-tier framework. Thank you for that. Because they did not listen and pay attention during his first term. People thought they were going to get the actual Trump from, I forgot what year, 2016. You weren't going to get the Trump from 2016. He was going on a fucking revenge tour. First of all, I don't listen to CNN. I don't listen to CNN anymore. They just bring on whoever they bring in. I don't listen to these freaking people anymore. I don't. When you have a woman who is representing Trump, right? Okay, cool. But when she says, and this is where I automatically disqualify you from any conversation of any kind, any ilk, when you say that if you say white people in Africa are considered Africans, I say, what? There are Africans just like black Africans are. Huh? I knew it was just time to Africans, not Africans, Africans. And they gave you a book and a tablet of America views and the corruption of Africa. And this woman is literally sitting there. Did you hear this? I mean, did you hear this bullshit? This is some bullshit. What is wrong with you people? What is wrong? We're Africans. Africans. What is going on? What is going on, bruh? What is going on? Hopefully I can find that shit. Don't tell me they erased it. You know what? Screw it. Because my man 10 grand done a fabulous fucking job. I ain't gonna even lie. I am not gonna lie. He has done a fabulous fucking job. I don't even know what the hell is wrong with my okay, cool. All right, let me see if I can find it for you. We're these scrubbers Americans and all the other Africans are attacking their way of life, and it's like, no, they're not. Trump wants any and everything to, I mean, this is what gets the economy going. He thinks going to war is what gets the economy going. it does in a sense, because what makes money? War. Let me see. War makes money. I'm losing train of thought. Wait. Mr. Dennis Sperling, I'll visit your coon ass a little bit later. That's another thing I get sick of is people who are us and act and want the approval of their white daddy, or excuse me, white zaddy. I'll leave y'all niggas behind. Where did it go? Where did it go? Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe button. Here it is. No black South African. Only white South Africans.
And black families. So, okay, in South Africa, I'm sure people have been allowed in from anywhere else. How is that not a policy? And by the way, only white South Africans, not black South Africans. How is that not a racist policy?
So South Africans are Africans. They are citizens of the nation of South Africa. They reside on the continent of Africa. For decades, this country, they are African. Whether they are white or black, they are African. And for decades, this country has taken in millions of refugees from several African nations that have been destabilized. Somalia, so much so that we've changed the entire demographic of a U.S. state. But Somalia, Eritrea, South Sudan, Democratic Republic of the Congo.
What do all those places have in common?
We've taken in millions.
Yeah, well, what do all those places have in common?
So now we're taking in, what they all have in common is every single one of those nations that I just listed, including South Africa, are African countries. And we've taken in millions from the others, but we're taking in 6,000 from South Africa. And everyone's like,
all of
Carolina, that's not here. And it's actually
experiencing war, famine, civil war.
So embarrassing. All are African.
It is not that, okay? Obviously, right? Those are places where there is actual conflict, where there is actual war, where people are actually being killed. Trump is basically saying the only people who we will let into this country are white people.
Yeah, they're African.
Basically, no.
Whether they are white or black, they're African.
And they're facing
you are making us look
ridiculous
right now. You
are making us look ridiculous. This is a completely racist argument.
They said
you can keep talking, but it's completely racist. If I say only white people are allowed in, it's racist.
She said, "You're embarrassing us."
That is a policy.
And then they gave that of basically white Christian supremacist as propaganda. Okay, all right, don't know why you're going on about this. It makes us absolutely idiotic.
Josh, this is like I don't even know where to start with. Is this how you actually feel? Like, are you giving your real opinion right now? I feel like this is not how you actually feel about this.
The United States has had an extremely generous refugee policy in regards to several African nations. Now that South Africa is one of them, there's a problem. When was the problem? When we were taking in millions from every other destabilized Africa?
And it's embarrassing.
This is very deliberately obtuse, I would say. I'm going to kind of... Wait, y'all. Hold on. Did y'all catch this? Look at this lady right here. Wait.
Nations. Now that...
She is the...
Can somebody explain the expropriation act in South Africa and what's going on?
We don't want to do that. The first thing about that is that what you're saying, that expropriation act, no property has been expropriated. You know that, right?
No, that's not true.
It is true.
Read the executive order.
No, wait, hold on. Bro, no property has actually been expropriated.
I think there's 6,000 South Africans.
So you're talking about something that is basically hypothetical when here's the reality of life in South Africa. 3 decades after apartheid, which apartheid means that Black people were subjected to laws that prevented them from living as equal citizens. Black South Africans, who account for more than 80% of the country's 63 million people, face far higher unemployment than their white counterparts, 35.8% compared to 8%. Okay? The white households average almost 5 times more wealth than Black families. So,
and this is in Africa, mind you, South Africa, where most whites are in control of South Africa.
okay, in South Africa, I'm sure they have plenty of problems internally. But this idea that there is a genocide happening in South Africa against white people is fictitious. Here's one person who was brought into this country as a refugee. He says he left behind a Jaguar sports car, a Range Rover, and what he estimates to be property worth at least $300,000. He plans to sell them all so that he can come to the United States as a refugee. Meanwhile, we're saying to Americans, don't go to Haiti because you might die, but we want to send 350,000 asylum seekers essentially back to Haiti because Stephen Miller doesn't like Haiti.
Well, because it's a different program.
I don't think it's because Stephen Miller doesn't like Haitians. I think because the Supreme Okay, but I think the Supreme Court of the United States made that ruling. I don't think it's based on
that
branch.
Because the administration wants to deport them. Yeah.
Okay, but the judicial branch had 6 pretty intelligent lawyers who decided that they were going to.
Okay, but Arthur, what is the logic of a policy that lets a guy with a Range Rover and a Jaguar sports car in as a refugee, but not someone literally fleeing essentially a civil war?
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, the answer is,
I'm only honest. I don't have an answer to that.
and I think we can back it up again to the gift bags. What other group of people have we brought into the country and given gift bags to?
Well, we've given a lot of Somalian refugees $18 billion worth of fraud to buy their own Range Rovers here. I think that's
We
pretty
don't have
generous
any
of the
proof
American
of the fraud
taxpayer.
you're talking
That's
about,
quite a gift
Caroline.
bag.
And let me tell you, we don't
Predominantly committed by Somali
Quickly.
I'm just gonna say this is America at its most familiar to me, opening its arms very wide open to white immigrants and not Black immigrants, and then telling you not to believe your eyes.
Are South
when you've seen
Africans
it.
African? Are white South Africans African?
Next for us, we're going to read some of your feedback that you.
Entitlement. That's what I got out of that. We are entitled to do whatever we want in your country. Oh, shouts out to Ibrahim Torrible from Burkina Faso. And this is gonna take some time. This is gonna take years for Burkina Faso to be what it needs to be. So, and we don't expect to do it because we just scream Black Americans, but we want to get rid of Haiti. Okay. All right. She said that she helped build this country. Is she preferring feet on ground, or is she preferring economically? Because facts have been shown that immigrants who come to this country are helping the United States economically. You can look this up for yourself. But like I said, this whole Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. Red shirt, blue shirt. If you really want to know the truth, I got the one thing for you that I'm about. If you really want to know the truth from somebody and laugh at the same time, look up George Carlin. Look up George Carlin and politics. He can make you laugh, but at the same time, he's putting it on you like real serious. That's all I got for you. Until such time, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And thank you all for coming. Have a good night, people.